Hello, welcome to IELTS Resource Center podcast, where we dive deep into the world of IELTS preparation. I am Mr. George, your host, and I'm thrilled to bring your essential tips, strategies, and expert advice to help you reach your desired IELTS score. Today, I will be bringing to you an interactive learning experience from IELTS Resource Center online coaching session. Stay tuned.
Welcome to another deep dive with us. This time, we're going to get into IELTS reading, and we're going to be guided by someone named Mr. George.
Yeah, an expert in this field.
Who has helped out IELTS.
Yeah.
Tons of students unlock their potential.
That's how.
So if you are thinking about studying or working in a country where they speak English, get ready for some serious aha moments.
It's true. The IELTS can be like a stepping stone to some really incredible opportunities. And Mr. George, he's like taken all his experience and boiled it down into these wisdom keys.
I love that.
To kind of...
Wisdom keys.
Yeah.
Like he's giving us the secret code to like unlock IELTS success.
Yeah.
But before we get into all that, can we just like quickly define the challenge here?
Sure.
I think a lot of our listeners know about the IELTS, but what is this test measuring?
So the IELTS, or, the International English Language Testing System, it's a test that's recognized globally, and it looks at how well non-native English speakers speak English, basically. It covers 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking.
And today we're zeroing in on the reading portion, right?
Yes,
okay.
Precisely.
So we're going to explore all of Mr. George's targeted strategies for maximizing reading comprehension and just crushing this section.
But first, we need to mention that there are actually 2 versions of the IELTS reading test.
So the first wisdom key is to know which path you're on.
Right.
Okay, so what's the difference between these 2 versions?
So the difference is all about the types of reading that you're going to run into. The academic version, that one is for people who want to go on to higher education.
Okay.
So you're going to see stuff from textbooks, journal articles, research papers.
Like challenging academic texts.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the general training version. That one focuses on like the English we use every day, practical stuff like in workplaces and social situations. So you're looking at things like advertisements, maybe like work notices, excerpts from magazines even.
So knowing which version you're taking is super important. It's like choosing the right map before you even start your journey.
Exactly. You got to know where you're going.
Well, once you know, right, like you've chosen your path,
right,
how do you actually prepare for this beast?
Well, that's where, those wisdom keys from Mr. George, those come in.
Okay.
He gives you a really structured approach, breaks down how the test is formatted, and then gives you like very targeted strategies for each type of question.
Okay, I'm already intrigued. Let's unlock those wisdom keys. What's the first strategy he emphasizes?
So the first thing you got to understand is the different types of questions they're going to throw at you. So think of it as like getting to know the playing field, right? You're going to see multiple choice questions. You'll have true, false, not given statements, matching headings to paragraphs, a few others. Each one is designed to see how well you understand what you're reading, but in a specific way.
So it's not just reading fast.
No.
It's about reading smart.
Exactly.
And knowing what to look for.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay. Can we dive into one of those question types? Maybe the trickiest one. I've always found true, false, not given questions to be just a little
tricky.
Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, no, those are notoriously tricky.
Yeah.
So they're going to give you a statement, and you have to figure out, does this agree with the text?
Okay.
Does it contradict the text? Or is there just not enough information in the text?
Oh, that's where the not given element throws people off.
Exactly.
Can you give us like a real world example to kind of illustrate this?
Yeah, for sure. Let's say you're reading about, the decline in bee populations. And the statement says, the use of pesticides is the only factor responsible for the decline in bee populations.
Okay.
Now, the passage might say that pesticides are part of the problem.
Right.
But it might also mention habitat loss, climate change, all these other things.
So while the statement is partially true,
right,
It's not the whole picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say true
Okay.
because the passage gives you multiple reasons.
Right.
You wouldn't say false either because pesticides are mentioned.
Right.
So the answer would be not given.
Okay.
Because the passage doesn't say pesticides are the only cause.
That's a subtle but really crucial distinction.
Yes.
I can see why those trip people up.
Yeah.
So understanding these question types is like having a cheat sheet before you even start reading.
It is. You go in with like a strategic mindset,
Okay.
but that's just step one.
Right.
Mr. George's wisdom keys also include some really powerful strategies for tackling the passages themselves.
Now, that sounds like we're getting to the heart of the matter. But before we dive into those strategies, let's take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, listeners. We'll be right back with more of Mr. George's IELTS reading wisdom.
Achieve your IELTS goals with Mr. George. Get ready for IELTS success with personalized guidance from Mr. George Expert Coaching at IELTS Resource Center. With years of experience and passion for teaching, they provide tailored strategies, practical exercises, and real-time feedback to help you reach your target band score. Subscribe now to access exclusive materials, personalized coaching, and flexible online sessions that fit within your schedule. This is your chance to learn from the best and confidently for every session of the IELTS exam. For more information, call or WhatsApp us at 09052964864 or 07083458307.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, let's get to it.
So now we've kind of set the stage, right? We talked about the IELTS reading test, the different types of questions you're going to see.
Right.
Let's talk about how really tackle those passages.
Yes. Unlock those secrets.
Okay, so...
I know our listeners are like, how do I deal with these sometimes dense
Right.
IELTS reading passages?
Imagine you're like a detective, right? And you're looking for clues to crack a case.
Okay.
You wouldn't like go over every single detail of every scene, would you? No. You'd use your detective skills to zero in on the stuff that matters.
Right.
That's where skimming and scanning come in.
Skimming and scanning.
Yes.
Okay, I've heard those terms before.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, I never really understood the difference.
Oh, okay.
Can you break it down for us?
Absolutely. So think of skimming, like getting a bird's eye view of the passage.
Okay.
We're not deep diving into every single sentence, you know, but you're quickly looking through it to figure out the main idea.
Okay.
Maybe how it's structured, what the key points are.
Okay.
You want to focus on things like the first and last sentences of a paragraph.
Okay.
Headings, subheadings, anything that's in bold or italics, that kind of thing.
So it's like reading the headlines to get the gist of a news article.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. And you'd be surprised how much you can actually pick up just from doing that.
Right.
Now, scanning,
Yeah.
that's more like using a laser pointer.
Okay.
You're hunting for a specific piece of information,
Okay.
like a name, a date, a particular word or phrase, right?
Okay, yeah.
So your eyes are moving super fast across the text, ignoring anything that's not relevant,
Okay.
until, bam, you find what you're looking for.
I can see how both of those would be so helpful
Oh.
if you're in a test and you have limited time.
You don't want to be wasting time,
Yeah.
especially when the clock is ticking.
It's like having a roadmap to navigate the passage efficiently.
It is. It is like a roadmap. You're not just wandering around aimlessly.
Exactly.
You know, you're using those skills, those skimming, scanning skills, to zoom in on exactly what you need to answer those questions.
I love it. This makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But I imagine mastering these techniques takes practice, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure. It's like learning anything new. The more you do it, the better you get.
Right.
And that's where, you know, Mr. George and his IELTS Resource Center really shines. He gives you tons of materials and exercises specifically designed to help you get really good at skimming and scanning.
So it's like training your reading muscles for the big game.
It is. It is. You're getting familiar with the types of texts you might see, the kinds of questions they'll ask.
Yeah.
And by the time test day comes around, you'll be feeling way more confident and prepared.
I love it. Are there any other wisdom keys that Mr. George offers that we should keep in mind when we're looking at these passages?
Well, remember all those different question types we talked about?
Yes.
Each one kind of needs a slightly different approach.
Okay.
And Mr. George has got a specific strategy for each one.
Okay, great.
For multiple choice questions, he says it's super important to read all the options,
Right.
even if you think you know the answer right away.
Yeah, it's easy to jump to conclusions.
Easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
Right. Now, for true, false, not given,
Yeah.
he really stresses that you need to go back to the passage
Okay.
and find evidence. Don't rely on memory. Don't make assumptions.
Right.
It's all about finding the info that either proves or disproves the statement.
It's a crucial reminder.
And then, for matching headings,
Yeah.
Mr. George's advice is to focus on the main idea of each paragraph or section.
Okay.
You don't want to get bogged down in all those tiny details.
Right.
It's all about understanding the big picture, the central theme of each part.
This is all incredibly helpful. I feel we've covered so much today. We talked about the different versions of the test. We've got these skimming and scanning skills and all these strategies for different types of questions. I'm feeling way more prepared to face this IELTS reading challenge.
That's great to hear.
But before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your final thoughts on how important Mr. George's work has been in helping people prepare for the IELTS.
Honestly, his wisdom keys, they're like a roadmap to success for anyone who wants to master this test.
His structured approach, the practical strategies, the targeted exercises, they all help test takers feel more confident and ready to achieve those scores they're aiming for.
Right, exactly.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So we've talked about these wisdom keys from Mr. George today. We've talked about strategies for analyzing those question types, getting good at skimming and scanning, approaching each passage, with the right mindset.
Yeah.
But how can our listeners, take these strategies and really make them their own to maximize their chances of success on this IELTS reading test?
That's a great question because, everybody learns differently, right? There's no one right way to prepare.
Right.
Some people, they do great under pressure, so maybe they need those timed practice tests.
Yeah.
While others might want to break down each skill and practice it separately, step by step.
Yeah, I'm definitely in that second category. I need to understand each piece before I can see the whole puzzle.
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about Mr. George's IELTS Resource Center.
Yeah.
It works for everybody.
Yeah.
Whether you're a visual learner, you like interactive stuff, or you want one-on-one coaching, they've got it all.
It's like having a personal trainer for your English skills.
Yeah.
They're there to guide you and cheer you on every step of the way.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, this IELTS exam, it's just one step on your journey, right? Whether you're dreaming of higher education or taking your career to the next level, Mr. George's wisdom keys can really help you unlock your potential, and you'll be able to navigate the world of English communication with confidence.
So well said. So, to all our listeners who are out there preparing for this IELTS reading test, remember, you're not alone. Mr. George and his IELTS Resource Center are there to support you every step of the way. Take advantage of all their resources, take those wisdom keys to heart, and approach this challenge with confidence. We know you can do it.
You got this.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into IELTS reading mastery with Mr. George. Hopefully you've learned a ton and you're feeling more confident about tackling this challenge. Don't forget to check out Mr. George's IELTS Resource Center for some personalized coaching and support. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep those brains buzzing.